Hello children, welcome back to yet another video class in English. So far you have studied a beautiful lesson, a letter to God in your main textbook. And in this video lesson we shall discuss a beautiful poem. Before stepping to our lesson, I would like to recite 4 lines for you.
Woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep.
Have you ever heard about these world famous lines? The first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, loved these lines very much. Even during his later days, exactly during the time of his death also, he kept a book of poems close to his bedside. Especially that book featured the poem Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening. And those poetic lines are that much powerful so that it influenced him. And these world famous lines are written by Robert Frost. And luckily for us also, we got a lesson, Fire and Ice, written by Robert Frost. So let us go to the lesson, Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice, written by Robert Frost. I think all of you have heard about Robert Frost. He is an American poet, but during his early times, his poems were published in Britain. But his poems and writings got popularity when it is published in America. And some of his world famous poems are Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening, The Road Not Taken, etc. This poem, The Road Not Taken, all you have studied in your 9th class. Coming to this lesson, Fire and Ice. Coming to our lesson, Fire and Ice. When thinking about this, the poet tells about, Robert Frost tells about how the earth will end. We all have a thought how the earth is going to end. I think some of you will feel scared thinking about the destruction of the world. And there are different groups of people, different religious groups, believe in different ways of destruction of the earth. And let us look in this poem what the poet tells about the destruction of the world, how the world will end according to Robert Frost. When we look at the poetic lines, the poet tells like this. You can see it here. I will recite that, listen it very carefully. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those with favor fire. So here in the first 4 lines or in the first stanza, here the poet tells about his belief how the world is going to end. Already you have heard that. So how the poet tells the possible destruction of the world here. First of all, the poet believes that the world will end by fire. We all think like that. In future, the heat from the sun will be enormous and it is enough to distract the world. The whole world will become a burning ball of fire. We believe like that. Here also the poet tells like this. Some say the world will end in fire. Here some say. The some say denote to some group or some sect of people, some group of people. They believe the world will end in fire. A simple sentence. It can be easily understandable. Some say in ice. Here the poet mentions about another group of people who believe the world will destruct or end in ice. In future, the earth will become very cold like a stone and all the life forms in earth will be destroyed. And moreover, here we have to analyze these 2 terms, fire. What is fire? What is ice? Actually, in this poem, these 2 terms, fire and ice, these 2 terms are personified. I know you all know what is personification. In order to give more beauty to the poetic lines, the poets have a license or they have a right to use certain poetic devices. Such a poetic device is personification, giving the characteristics of living beings to the non-living things. Here, these two things, fire, even if it is fire or even if it is ice, these two things are non-living things. But here, both of them have the power to destruct or to destroy. So these two terms, fire and ice, are personified here. So when we analyze it in detail, here in this poem, fire represents the desire of people. Here fire represents the desire of people. We know all people are greedy. They have too much of desire. They will not be satisfied with whatever they are getting. Even if we get something, some more we need. So here in this poem, fire actually represents desire of human beings and ice represents hatred. So these two terms, when we analyze these two terms, fire represents the desire and ice represent the hatred among humans. Okay. So coming to the third line, from what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. From what I have tasted of desire. That means Robert Frost says that whatever he experienced or whatever he realized or understand or he identified, he believed, I hold. That means I would like to join with the group who favor fire. In the first stanza, the poet tells that he believed or he support the group who believe that the world will end by fire. Here fire means the desire or the greed of humans. We know even in the case of neighbors, whenever they are greedy, surely there will be conflict between them. Conflict in creating walls or conflict in sharing boundaries, and surely there will be fight between them. Surely those neighbors will become rivals, isn't it? Yes. So here in the first stanza, the poet tells that what he feels, that the world will end by fire or the desire of humans. Let us discuss the poetic devices used in the first four lines. Here the first line says, some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. Here that convey an idea which can be understood using our sense organs. So the ideas readers can perceive through the sense organs. It's a poetic device of imagery. It's a poetic device of imagery. So the first two lines, some say that the world will end in fire, some say in ice. These two lines together are the example for imagery. Once more I repeat, whatever the readers can perceive through their sense organs, it's an example for imagery. So the first poetic device is imagery here. And in those lines itself, the term some say, we can see the repetition. In the together lines, in the nearby lines, the same word is repeating. Some say. In the second lines also the term some say is repeating. So there the poetic device is anaphora. Okay. Repetition of the same words in the nearby lines, it's anaphora. So far we have studied two poetic devices, imagery, what we can perceive through our sense organs, and the second poetic device is anaphora. Some say, the term is repeating, it's an example for anaphora. And coming to the fourth line, there we can see like this, I hold with those who favor fire. Here the letter O is repeating in the word hold and those. The vowel sound O. The vowel sound O is repeating in the nearby words. And so it's an example for assonance. In the same line, the same vowel letter is repeating in the nearby words, it's an example for assonance. Okay, and there itself we can see the consonant sound F or the sound F, favor, fire. The consonant sound F is repeating there, favor, fire, and the repetition of the same consonant sounds in the nearby words in the same line. It's an example for alliteration. So it's very important. In the first stanza we have studied 4 poetic devices. Imagery is there, then anaphora is there, assonance is there, alliteration is there. That much is from the first stanza. And coming to the second stanza, we can see it here. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate is also great and would suffice. So here in this stanza the poet is telling about the second chance, second possibility, the how the world will end. First of all he said that the world will end by fire. That means desire, the greed of humans. Here he mentions about ice. But if it had to perish twice, perish means to die or to destroy twice. If the world needs to be destroyed for the second time, I think I know enough of hate. Surely it will be because of the human emotion of hate. The world will end because of humans hating each other. I already tell what will happen when we hate each other. Suppose you don't like one of your friends, what will happen? Do you like your friends? Do you love your friends? No. Surely you will start to have quarrel with them, fight with them, and there will be a conflict. The same thing will happen in this world also. So here also Robert Frost tells that if the world has to destroy for the second time, it's not because of desire or fire. It is only because of hate. The hate among people. To say that for destruction ice is also great. Here he clearly tells that for the destruction ice is also enough capable. Already we studied ice is personified there. Ice is also enough to destroy this world and would suffice. Here the term suffice meaning enough, adequate, be sufficient. Ice is also enough to destroy this world. Not only fire, ice is also enough, or ice is also enough powerful to destroy this world. That means the human quality hate can also destroy this world. So from the beginning, suppose we analyze it once more. The main theme is the human emotions. Hatred and desire are so much capable to destroy everything. The philosophy behind this lesson, if we don't control our emotions, desire and hatred, they will surely bring us all off the verge of chaos. These two emotions will create chaos or confusion or total destruction in our life, and surely we have to pay for it. Here fire or desire, that will create a rapid destruction. It will create a rapid destruction, and ice on the other hand will create a silent damage. Okay, and when we look at the second stanza, there no more poetic devices are coming there, but we have missed one thing that we are going to repeat. The poetic device is enjambment. The poetic device is enjambment. And suppose anyone asks what is enjambment, that means the continuation of a line without a pause, without a full stop or a comma. The idea is not conveyed in a single line, the idea is conveyed only in the next coming line. Here we can see there, from what I have tasted of desire, the idea is not completed there. I hold with those who favor fire. Here no comma, no full stop. The idea is completed only in the next line. So this is an example for enjambment. Okay, so 5 poetic devices you have to study in this poem. So before concluding, I would like to repeat everything. The poem Fire and Ice, written by Robert Frost. And telling about this poem, the term fire and ice are actually personified. Fire means the great desire, and ice means the hatred. Both are equally competent to destruct the human lives. And coming to the lines, he has used the poetic devices imagery. That means whatever the readers can perceive through their sense organs, the world will end by fire, the world will end by ice. These two are examples for imagery. We can understand that action, destruction through our sense organs. Anaphora, repetition of the same words in the nearby lines, in the beginning of the nearby lines. Then assonance, repetition of the same vowel sound in the nearby words. Alteration, repetition of the same consonant sound in the nearby words. And last, enjambment. That means the idea of a particular line is not completed there, and it is completed only in the nearby or the next line. So dear children, I hope you all understood this lesson. Anyway, in the next class we can meet with one another lesson. Till then, thank you all.